Tan 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 tan. 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 Tan 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 tan.
Tan 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 tan. Tan 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 tan. Tan 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 tan.
I remember the other day you called me, and that's how you answered the phone.
Absolutely.
And I was saying I should make that my caller ringback tone. You really love the song, eh?
Yeah, it's a nice
I'll
song.
send you a copy. Have it on your phone, and
Please do,
your phone should ring with that. He's gonna be our ambassador from now on. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, that's heavy.
Speaking of what you're touching right now, have you tried these drinks
No,
out?
I haven't. So I'm like mojito, crafted mocktail, right? And it's non-alcoholic, so definitely would be worth sampling.
I mean, if you haven't tried it, please.
I haven't tried it before.
Have a feel of it,
So
and let me know your honest opinion.
Yeah, I'm gonna be very honest. Let me do the whole.
As you taste that, I need to remind you and others as well that we've got 4 flavors. We've got the mojito, the one you're trying out right now. We've got pina colada, strawberry lime crisp, and Cosmo. All of them amazing, in my opinion, and many other people's opinion. And yours?
It's actually a nice drink.
It is.
So I can imagine what it's like if it's ice cold. So where can I get these?
And
And I know that sounds like a shop, an advert, right?
Yeah.
No, but I mean, like, where can I? So if I go to the select shop, right, I'd get this, huh? Most likely.
every ShopRite, I think you're gonna get those.
This?
Any supermarket worth its salt.
All right. I'll make sure
Yeah.
I get one on my way.
Yeah, you should.
Home. I'll
So,
get several.
4 exciting flavors, and these are the people
And they
taking care of
sound
us right
very,
now.
okay, no, it sounds very tasty. You said what?
It is.
What?
Sorry?
All the flavors again?
Strawberry lime crisp.
Sounds
There's
nice.
the Cosmo. There's pina colada, and then there's the mojito, the one you
my
just
God.
tasted.
And the pina colada is on like with
Yeah.
the whole.
You know one
coconut
thing I don't
thing.
appreciate at restaurants or pubs when you order a mocktail or even a cocktail, how they fill your glass up with so much ice,
Yeah,
and it sort of spoils the drink by too much dilution.
I agree.
You won't get that
No,
with
but
this.
but that's a strategy. You know that, right?
Yeah, I mean, still you're more of the ice than the drink itself, right?
There you go. You know the deal. That's
Ladies
what
and
they do.
gentlemen, our guest today is no stranger to the podcast. He was here
One
when we
year ago.
did episode 100. Yeah. And now we've done 150 episodes. He's back. Like he forgot something
So
on
I'm on
set.
150. Like
Episode 150. God, this is going to be episode 150.
Wow.
We'll decide. We'll decide. It is going to be episode 150, right?
That's
Yes.
amazing. You know, I say
Another
so.
huge milestone.
Yeah, no, but why I say so? I seem to have a knack for coming at just the right.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
Awesome.
Like you showed up when
That's
we did
a
100
sign
episodes. It's
from
a
the
sign.
universe.
Yeah. Speaking of signs from the universe, you are no stranger to controversy, and recently you trended quite a bit.
I did. Let me put this phone on absolute.
Right.
On airplane mode.
I was introducing our guest today, and he is the quintessential netizen. Quite literally, a man who lives on the internet, preaches on the internet.
I thought
a lot.
I thought that belonged to Simon Mwambazi.
He lives there.
He's unreal.
Simon literally lives on the internet.
He amuses me. I'm like, how does he pull that off? Anyway.
You know, the Simon issue with Steve Harvey, for me, raises the question, what's the age limit on social media?
No, first of all, Steve Harvey was just being, what's the word? Disingenuous, because he's on TikTok. He's got 12 million followers.
Yeah,
there.
but then in his defense, you could say that maybe he's got a team that runs a TikTok. He's not even on TikTok himself. You know what I mean?
Well, he's probably not on any social to talk about.
Yeah, come through
because
with
he
it.
doesn't
Yeah.
even. Because there are those who you can tell actually manage their own accounts, and then there are those you can tell is managed on their behalf.
And for him,
And
you can
Steve
tell
is
he
one of those.
doesn't.
Yeah,
I
because
mean,
he
a man-
doesn't. Because you don't feel his humor. Like when you're watching him live on his shows, and
Yeah.
there's a way Steve goes about his stuff. You don't feel that on his platform. So you feel they just share. And
You get
spread
clips
them
of whatever he's putting up on TV and radio and
he just
whatever.
has some good social media
Podcasts.
managers. Yeah, but there are some celebrities. I don't follow a lot of them, but there are some who you can tell this is actually the person themselves doing it. Like the guy doing Moana right now. What's his name? The big
Dwayne
wrestler
Johnson?
guy. Yes, Dwayne.
The Rock?
The Rock. You can actually tell that's him who types that.
Yeah, for a few, you can actually feel it. Yeah, true. But then again, for me, that still begs the question. Is there an age limit as to you get to this age, do you drop off? Are we growing with social media? We're going to grow
social
old
media
with
has
it.
become the new marketplace. So
At the end of the day,
it's all about a transition from one platform to another, but there's no age limit because TikTok. I mean, ignore TikTok at your own peril. And I'm trying to be on it, but it's so difficult.
Right.
But ignore it at your own peril because every time you have a new platform, you're essentially getting a new breed of people.
Wait, what do you mean TikTok is difficult?
For me, because of the video thing. I can't.
But you're on Facebook and you're doing videos on Facebook. So
Yeah,
what's the difference?
but I mean, I do them when I'm in the mood once in a while. But on TikTok, you're forced to always have video content. And that's,
Facebook, you can even just post your
you know,
thoughts and
I do
writing.
a lot of that. So, people complain, actually. A lot of my
Because your
followers
articles are
complain,
too long.
"Can you do videos?" I'm like, guy, man. I mean, because I've done it. I've tried. And I realized, no, I need a full team to run that for me.
Come on, produce,
I've got the
come on,
content.
produce your content from here. This place is called the Content Factory. So
So how does that work?
we'll talk.
Okay,
right after
let's
this.
talk seriously.
We'll talk right after this.
Because what I need, I've got the content. I haven't got the time to edit it and stuff. So we just need to come up with an arrangement.
There's Gob. He comes at a price, though.
That's why I can't afford Kai. Because me, I know what I can do. And I'm not...
Wait, what do you mean you can't afford?
Because for the quality I need, they need to do far better than I can do myself.
Yeah, but what do you mean you can't afford?
It's pretty pricey to get a guy who really knows what he's doing on social media.
Yeah, but I ask you that as a clergy who preaches to us the power of the spoken word and
agree.
how your words have power.
I agree.
Yes,
you
you're
got
sort
me
of-
there. But let me tell you, I'm basing this on the quality of what I'm looking for. I haven't got the resources to pay for that yet.
But have you asked Gob what he's worth? What do you ask for to produce a short clip?
What's your price?
No, like on average. How many minutes? How many minutes would you love to produce?
No, for me,
Whatever.
I've got stuff. I've got a lot of content already. So all I need is curated. Somebody has to listen through and actually extract. Forget about the AI nonsense. Like the real, genuinely extracted content. Then, you run the AI voice thing, then edit that. Because AI can't pick up many of our
Right.
words. It just kills them. Edit that, then add the little B-rolls and a few extra clips here and there, pictures, and really turn it into some very nice, watchable stuff. That's what I would expect. So on average, I can do it. So I know how long it takes. CapCut is really brilliant. I mean, it can do tons.
And
it's got the
captions
AI
and everything,
thing, and
yeah.
yes. But to edit it into a sensible edited thing, for 2 minute, that's been long. 1 minute clip would take you 45 minutes to an hour to edit. Now, I can do 20 of those.
If you walk
Now,
or
if I have
drive to this place, you record your 5 to 10 minute clips. Gob edits it in like 10, 20 minutes.
Can he extract what's on my walls already?
No, it's not quality enough.
Yeah, man. You see.
Yeah, I just need to produce new
All right,
content.
so we'll discuss.
Yeah.
It's
We will.
just that because one of the things I'll tell you, K plus for me, what really gets me with social media is to do what I do consistently is really time consuming. Like I have to essentially invest 2 hours of my day to do what I do. So meaning I create the content. I do that very early. Like during my thinking time, I create all that content, all the stuff you see, then I schedule it.
Right.
And I have to think that through, eh?
Right.
And then these days, a lot of people are used to my format. So if I post something that's very brainy, I get the, Rev, where's the afterthought?
Can you summarize and condense what you said in simpler language?
So I do that already.
Right.
In those little memes on top.
Right.
And people complain about that. I try to really keep it simple. But people complain. Can you expand? What do you mean? What do you mean? So you find you have to do a little write-up. So there are some posts which I even know I must do an afterthought. Afterthoughts on average, 20, 25 minutes to type them down. This stuff pours out of me, by the way. So it's not like I have to go and research. This stuff is in me. So it's just literally just to
The last time we had you here, we didn't quite discuss your background because you are one very well-informed human being. There's no topic that a person can raise that you don't have an opinion on.
Okay, about football, I don't.
Okay, except soccer. But let's talk about maybe like on a academic level. There's so many topics.
I do try, yes.
Yeah. Today, I would love to start. I know we touched a bit on that last time you were on the podcast. You gave us your religious upbringing, the courses that you did. That's something that I think you dropped out of one or something like that. Let's start with what's happening recently. And with that, you trended quite a bit last month.
Yeah, I stepped on a live wire. Literal live wire.
Hey, the women are not happy. the women were not happy
No,
at all.
somebody, let me give you a little anecdote before you ask your question.
Yeah.
In relation to the same topic.
Can I first give background to what you...
Yeah. Please.
So, Rev Walter here, the man you're seeing on your screen right now, went ahead on Facebook and stepped on a lot of women's toes, especially those who've had children before marriage or outside marriage. And you spoke about advising men not to marry a woman who's had kids before because...
No, not
was
kids.
it describing her as a community project or something like
Community
that?
project. Because
Yes.
kids is not an issue.
Okay.
It's the community project.
I
That's a
think it would be nice
terminology.
to hear it from the horse's mouth. What did you mean exactly with that post? Give us background, context.
And then, okay,
Yes.
so essentially, this is what I said. Words to the effect. Dear brothers. So I've got this series running called Dear Single Bro. So, dear single bro,
Yes.
take it from me. That's how I phrase it. Take it from me. Do not marry a former, and I was very categorical, do not marry a former community project or Mama Waluse. Reason being, in my 22 years of experience as a pastor, even those who come claiming salvation, please note the word claiming, because there's no way you and I can prove that we are genuinely saved here. It's impossible. The only way you can know I'm genuinely saved is by my fruit. So you're not around me, so you can't see me. So anyone claiming to be saved, even those, tend to struggle with adultery and mucking around. So you marry at your own peril. That's what I said. And this is specifically to the virgin brother and by extension the virgin sister.
We have a virgin here. Where is he? Oh, him. No, true story.
No, but
He's
it's
still
a good
virgin.
thing. Keep yourself, brother. Keep yourself.
How old are you again? He's 20 years old.
Keep yourself. And I mean it. As we talk here, you might hear one or two
So
things.
listen very carefully to what is about
Do
to
not
virgin.
marry one of those sisters. Don't.
And by definition, what's a community project?
A community project is basically a sister with a high body count.
Mileage.
Yes. And here we're speaking specifically. You know the thing, and I get a lot of flack for this, but I get a lot of flack for this, but I'm going to qualify it.
Oh, this will be a late episode.
The more men a sister samples before marriage, the more she's expanded and experiences differences. And the problem is...
Hold. When you say expanded, what are we talking about? Like vagina?
No.
Okay.
No,
All right.
the vagina can open massively and shrink back to
Yeah,
zero.
but when you say expanded, please clarify.
Expanded
One, that's the
in
podcast.
terms of a range of experiences.
Right.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Right.
So you see, you can never, and I mean this, you can never miss what you have never tasted.
Bars.
You can never miss what you've never tasted. So if you've never tasted before, it doesn't matter what I say to you, you have no clue. But the problem is once you've tasted, something happens. The body adjusts. You know, there's a saying in neuropsychology, neurons that fire together wire together.
Yeah.
So once you create that neural pathway, it's never forgotten. It doesn't matter how much you do not experience it again. The fact that you experienced it changes your life completely. So when you have been down that path as a sister or a brother, and then you reach a point where you're tired of playing around and now you want to settle, these women have the habit of going to pick some poor innocent brother or sister wet behind the ears with no clue about life. And so let me stick it with the guy now. So that's the guy that the women will marry. Now, the truth of the matter is when they finally come to the big day and they get, because some of these ladies can really pull the whole thing like, right, saved, sanctified, keeping myself, understood. But comes the day now when they jump in the hay. What's going to happen is probably, if she's marrying a virgin brother, it's going to be a chicken brother with a 2-minute anointing, right? That's a problem.
Missy Elliott had a song. I think it was called 1 Minute Man, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh.
Yeah? Are we talking about the same thing here?
No, but of course.
Right.
We're talking about a
Good.
case where the brother doesn't last. Understandably, because remember, this is a virgin brother. So the first experience is always very nerve-wracking, and certainly any brother will finish before
Will
starting.
nut.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then this poor sister, I don't know if she's poor, but this sister is going to be like, okay, all right, let's run with this. So she does again and same thing, and she does again and same. This is a brother. He's new. This is not his thing. So once she reaches a certain level, she'll now have the hunger. It'll be awakened, and she'll need to satisfy that hunger. So only 1 in 20, and I mean this. I've done the numbers. Only 1 in 20 people have the discipline to say, I will not venture out. I'll stay here. I'll suffer. This is going to be my cross. I'll make this work. But 19 of them will inevitably go back. And guess who they'll go back to? Now, that will be done secretly, by the way. They will not do it openly. But guess who they'll go back to? They'll go back. I'm trying to think of how to say this on TV without it being wrong. Because problem with TV. Yeah, well,
on YouTube.
On YouTube. The problem with these things is they're going to take like a 10-second thing and then just turn that into a meme. It'll be horrible.
Yep.
So let me find a way to put this. I'm really thinking this through. I'm thinking.
Take your time. Take your time.
They'll go back to the gentleman that is well endowed with some skill. And that's the brother who's going to get them to get their freak on because he did that before. So she'll remember the freak and she'll go back. And that's what will now happens. What happens now is you'll be that unfortunate poor brother whose wife is literally being cuckolded. So you're a cuck, literally. Just an unknowing one.
So basically, with the new series that you're working on for the bros, you are encouraging the bros to find virgin women.
And sisters. The ones that have kept themselves. Because for me...
In Lusaka.
They're there. The thing...
Yeah, but you did say 1 in 20. What are the chances of you finding that 1 in 20?
That's where you need...
In Lusaka.
That's why you need the guidance of elders.
Eesh, you need the guidance of God, man.
And elders. And elders.
Especially God.
Elders and elders. Because women can sniff a community project from a mile away. Women. Next to God, fear a woman. So they sniff these women a mile away. And so if your mother has issues with a woman, 9 out of 10 times, she's on point. But you can't rely on your mother because she's got bias. So you go with the aunties and those elders in the family. Yeah.
Quite objective.
Yes, they'll be more
selection,
objective. Because with the mother, nah, man. So the mother always has issues with the daughter-in-law. So
I feel sorry for young men in Lusaka right now with what you just said.
For real?
Yeah.
No, for real. No, I agree with you. It's rough.
Because a lot of us, and please do not take offense.
Yeah, don't.
No, I'm talking about the Lusaka community.
Yeah, but it's a fact.
Yeah, a lot of us couple guys just felt we need to move to Lusaka already married because the stories we used to hear about Lusaka, it's a different ballgame.
No, it's bad. It's bad, guy. Just go to October car park.
That's why I feel sorry for the young guys trying to get married right now. You know what I mean?
No, it's rough. That's why for me, if you want to get married in this day and age,
In Lusaka,
you need to fish in the right ponds, and I mean that literally. Fish in the right ponds, and unfortunately, hear me well and hear me good. The average upmarket, popular, charismatic church,
offense is never given, it's taken. And judging by how offended people were with that statement of yours, I think what do you think it says first about
so let me tell you
about the current state of things in this country?
So let me give you a story now. I really touched some people were touched, some women really had a go at me, right? So there's this one particular sister, like she was touched, man. She wrote paragraphs, books.
In your comment section.
Yes! What kind of reverend are you? You are so self-righteous and in my books the most horrible, judgmental, patriarchal, misogynistic man I've ever come across in my life. I literally got the names from Trump, right? The Trump names, they were thrown on me.
Yeah, the new Trump.
And I was like, guys, let me explain. So I was trying to say, no, but Jesus is able to completely. And the part that annoys me with that statement about Jesus is able to completely, I'm dealing with real cases.
Wait, Jesus is able to what?
To completely erase somebody's past and they get to a place where that type of lifestyle has no impact on their current life. That is rubbish. That's the greatest rubbish I've heard.
Why? Because that doesn't change the fact that you're not a virgin anymore, does it?
No, thank you. In fact, let me go further.
Like your virginity cannot be restored either way.
Let's go further. I'm going to put this I'm going to put it out there. When you learn how to drive or you learn how to swim or you learn how to ride a bicycle, it takes time because you have to condition
And
your
once
body.
you learn, you can't unlearn it.
So my question is, when you become saved, do you forget how to drive? Do you forget how to ride a bicycle? You can have not ridden for 10 years, bro.
Yeah.
All I need to do is give you a bicycle in 1 minute, you remember how to ride it. Same goes with sex, bro. Same goes with sex. If you have had the misfortune, because that's the only word I can use, if you've had the misfortune of meeting a 12-inch man of steel. Okay, you guys.
Superman.
Brother rides like it's a 360cc bike. No, 1000cc.
1,000 horsepower.
Yeah, 1000cc, 1 liter bike, speed bike. Brother rides you, and in the words of my dear beloved wife,
Mandingo.
they will engesa you 100 watts Philips. And then you sing in Kikaonde. Even if you don't speak Kikaonde, you sing it that day. Due to how the brother has sorted you out. Then you can marry Jack, the junior pastor, the 2-minute brother. Nah, man, those women suffer.
But why would you have to assume that Jack, being a virgin, is going to be a 2-minute man? What if she, with her experience, trains him to be what she wants him to be?
One of the usual challenges with that is that it's a very awkward scenario. There are very few people, that's why I said 1 in 20, who have the maturity as a couple to communicate at that level without offense. Very few. Remember, she's been projecting as this holy sister that loves Jesus. So that projection is usually maintained in the relation. So if, sorry to say, okay, we're really having a very frank conversation here. This is crazy. I can't believe. Remember, I'm a pastor, born again, spirit-filled, tongue speaking. Just remember that.
Believe what he says.
I do not have any funny reputations, and I stand by that.
We'll come to that.
I'm coming back to
that.
Okay, but we're coming back to that sister that was admonishing me. Now, let's go back to this lady. So they project. You know, the problem with courtship, there's a lot of projecting, and a lot of it is fake. So a lot of these sisters, I'm going to focus on the sisters, but brothers do the same, and they are very bad at it. They're very, very wicked when they do that as well. But I'll focus on the sister. So when they project this, they project an image of a very sanctified, transformed sister. And she's like, no, Jesus, Jesus, Jesus. So she really comes out like this Jesus person. So imagine the shock when she's a freak in the bedroom. And the brother can't compute because he knows her as Santa Maria. So sometimes these sisters cannot bring out their freak. You know, there's these sisters who've been around, They've had some different sampled sex, and some of this sex is so, how can I put it? It's so banal, it's so carnal, it's so base that they actually discover that they have their most powerful orgasm when some weird stuff happens to them. So there are some sisters who like to be choked. So she gets choked and has an earth-shattering orgasm. So now she wants the choking bit. Choke me! Choke me! Step on my face! Step on my face!
Church went a whole different direction today, I swear.
No, how does she tell the anointed junior pastor to step on?
Elson should have been here. You are touching on his favorite topic today.
No, but you get my point.
Let me ask him how far he is.
Kalenga. It's so bad. So what essentially ends up happening is the sister doesn't get to express herself. And she doesn't get, because she was taken there, you see? And she became bound to that. So she can't express that with her husband. So she finds the guy that does it. And they just continue secretly doing it.
But why is this story so one-sided? It's always about what the girl should be, what the girl has done. She's a community project. What about the guy who's also a community project?
Same story. It's just that it's the women that took offense. Men don't take offense. I talked about men. I talk about men on my page ad nauseum. The men just take it in their stride. They don't get worked up.
Why? Because community looks at it as normal. If a guy has slept around, it's okay.
See, that's one of the worst
parts. But if a girl does it, that's a big issue.
Look, I've even put it directly. And women don't like this, but it's a fact. I always tell them, if a guy sleeps around, what's he called? The stud. A girl sleeps around, what's she called? The slut. Just a fact of life. Sucks, but it's true.
So if you were to level the playing field for women and just make them feel good in this situation, what would you say?
Okay, first let me deal with the story about that lady.
Oh, the lady who admonished you.
Yeah, so she called me all sorts of names. And then we argued back and forth. I was trying to explain myself. She wasn't having any of it. It didn't matter what I explained. She was just like, you are so horrible. In fact, how did you even earn your reverend title? Hey, what? So she's really, she just went for it. And she's been on it. And so we got to that famous place in social media where you say, you know what? I am what I am and I'm not going to change. So I think you can just exit the page. I will not kick you out or block you because honestly, you're speaking your view, and on my page, I allow divergent views. I'm very open. Unless somebody insults me or, does something completely unbecoming, I just don't have issues. So you can exit the page, which I think she didn't. But anyway, so she stopped. Yes, in fact, good riddance for me. This is so toxic. So she exited. So, well, I don't know if she did, but whatever. So now, recently, one good friend of mine, I'll be very, very specific, a gentleman, Pastor Sunny Zulu, recently.
Stand short.
Yes. So he recently got promoted or ordained bishop. No, not bishop.
Yeah, I saw that.
Reverend.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so he got ordained reverend. So, there was the whole thing. Congratulations, blah, blah, blah. So what does this lady do? She tags me. And she says, emulate. That's like, are you serious? Me? Emulate? Yeah, because this is how real reverends behave. Not you. Just busy making everybody feel so bad. So we had to go at each other. I was like, my sister, I am who I am. I am Reverend Walter and I have a certain personality. That's why I don't run a church. I say it as it is and one can take it or leave it. But I am who I am. And I got to be reverend literally by the fact that I was ordained to be reverend. And I am making an impact in this place in my own way. And congratulations to Reverend Zulu. Awesome guy. But he is Reverend Zulu and he is running a church. And he has to use a totally different approach in his running the church because he's going to have plenty of former community projects. He can't offend them. He can't. Plenty. Look, and then the funny part, I always find amusing. I'm a former community project.
Let's talk about that.
Yeah. I know, absolutely. 100%. Guys are getting shocked. Oh yes.
What kind of a community project were you?
The type that didn't drink or smoke, but just went after the honeys.
It sounds very, very familiar. Go, you about to say? The gear. Belshazzar. What's his name again?
Oh, Balthazar. Bang. Even his name, Ed Bang and Gonga. What kind of name is it? That's the name. Ed Bang and Gonga. No. He's like record level. No, he's record level, yeah? He's like next level
the
stuff.
400 videos. And I don't know why that mic is not picking anymore.
No, I don't really think I ever hit those numbers. No, but even though I counted, I think I must have done like maybe 50. And mind you,
your body count is at 50, or were at 50. Was
then. Because I was 25 when I got saved.
Legend.
No. I was 25 when I got saved. So from the time I got saved in 1997, June 21st to date, I've only known 2 women.
Wait. I don't know why the mic is not picking up, guys.
Imagine live on air. The mic just decides to die. But I'm seeing that thing. What about that knock going up and down? Isn't that a sign that...
It's not the one. It was working in the last episode recorded just an hour ago.
Oh, shame.
Try getting the black mic. Yeah. Anyway, you were talking about being a community project.
Yeah, so from the time I got saved to date, I've only known 2 women, my ex-wife and my current wife. And I've kept it that way.
With your light skin, I can imagine how bad you are, eh?
Oh,
how bad you were.
It wasn't good. I'm not proud of it. Let everybody know, but I am not proud of that lifestyle.
But I think the important thing is for young guys to see themselves in you and relate and know that they can change if they are where you were then.
To do the work.
Exactly.
And I need to stress that part. If they are willing to do the work, because this is a walk that is very hard. In fact, let me put it this way. Every alcoholic is 1 glass from a relapse. You realize that? Every alcoholic is 1 glass away
from a relapse.
Put it this way. Every former community project, sorry to say this, but I'll say it, is 1 shag from a total relapse. Yeah, because you just awaken the beast. You know what I mean?
You had a question?
Yeah, so were you
Wait.
Getting picked, or what was the story? Did you go around picking women? Like, how are you finding this? Is this like you were paying?
Who pays? You know, look. Here's. Let me explain to you. True players never pay for sex. I actually get shocked people pay for sex. No,
Wait,
you don't.
ask your question again.
Was he paying? Were they paying him? What was the story? Like,
No. I wasn't paying we were basically just. There was a connection at what we call a basic level where their needs being met. Because these women who are easily taken by dudes like myself back then are looking for something.
You're not going to ask us to edit this out, are you?
I don't know. You're the guys in charge of this podcast, aren't you?
Just checking.
No, I'll tell you. Anything I say here, I'm willing to be brought to task. And I'll tell you.
Amen, church. Amen.
No, you know what? Because for me, it's a testimony.
I asked because there are stories around North Mid Thorn Park. Women actually go pick men there. I didn't know that.
Male prostitution is a big thing, yes, but that's different.
In Lusaka, this is happening.
And you know what
yes,
happened?
absolutely.
They wear black gowns. They're like naked, and then when the driver
They're wearing something, but they're naked.
Yeah, so a lady
So that
driver
can happen right there.
drives in, and then they just they have to see the length of whatever they're
Oh, they're like wearing a jacket and
it's a long jacket, and then they have to pull it apart, and then they have
So that
to
the
see.
woman can see.
And,
So you know what?
Wait, guys are lining up on the streets for this. Guys are lining up on the streets.
Yes,
Because you know why?
I speak too early, eh?
No, you know why? Now, do you remember what I talked about the community projects?
Yeah.
The body never forgets, guys. The body does not forget. So when these women have been let down, or when they are victims, no, that's not the word. No, it's not victims. When they have been, but okay, in a way they're
not satisfied.
Yeah, and there's a whole bunch of reasons why people don't get satisfied. But the major one is that they have these experiences that leave them hanging. And so they indulge in self-service. And self-service, which is a fancy word for the
toys.
Yeah.
Is it toys?
Yeah, it's the same thing.
Masturbation.
Yeah,
basically.
the whole works, yes.
Right,
So
okay.
when they get into that space, they are always seeking for a greater dopamine experience. Remember that when people have sex, there are three major hormones that are normally released. That's why this is supposed to be, this is supposed to be in the confines of a marriage for very good reasons. So that there's bonding to that. But yeah, dopamine, like you say, and dopamine is the result of an orgasm. So when you orgasm, that crescendo of an experience you have is a rush of dopamine. Yeah, that's why it's called what? Dope. And that's when you have the, sorry to say, Kalenga, that's when you have the F face, because the F face.
What's the F face?
No, I can't say it, but it's the F face is a face that you have because now everything about you is just gone. It's gone. You're not thinking.
You're not yourself.
You're not yourself anymore. So you
You're
have
high on some other drug
face
inside.
So now that face is because of the dope rush. So the dope rush is the same thing that happens when you have drugs like heroin or even crack. It's a very powerful sensation. And so what people do when they have that dope rush, especially when you have the one with the freak, right? When you have that dope rush, you want a repeat of that. You're literally like a dog chasing after a female dog on heat, right? You're going after that rush. So you're looking for that experience. And unfortunately, that first high, and this is the truth, the first high can never be repeated. That's why the high has to be with the husband. Let me explain what happens further. You then have endorphins also released. What are endorphins? The feel-good hormone. That's the afterglow, as they call it. So when that's done with somebody you love and care about, that afterglow creates an atmosphere, beautiful atmosphere. And then there's a third hormone that's also released, very powerful, oxytocin, which is a bonding hormone. So oxytocin is the one that bonds you to whatever caused the feeling. So now, if you're going to have sex with different men, you're bonding with all these, it's a real mess. And then what happens is because you cannot get those people back, you are now caught in that chase for the dope, for the high. You're chasing the high. And that's what makes these people. Now, imagine you do that with an image. That's pornography. Or imagine you do that with just anybody. So you're chasing the high, but you never get it. So these women and men who do this now start chasing the high, and they keep looking for weirder and weirder experience. Let me say something very strange. Any of you guys ever heard of what's the term? Autoerotic suffocation. Ever heard of that? No, autoerotic. Google that, guys. Google it.
We're innocent people.
Yeah. Google it. And then remove the filter. Then see what comes up. It's
Auto what?
autoerotic
We're discovering things today.
asphyxiation.
Is it like auto
Auto, yeah, AUTO.
erotic asphyxiation?
Asphyxiation, yes. Spell that correctly. Asphyxiation. Which is basically being choked, right? Yeah. Google. See what it will show you. Then remove the filter. So whilst it's checking on that, the reason people have that experience is because they're all chasing the dope high. And so they go weirder and weirder because the images and whatever they are following doesn't do it anymore for them. So they actually are looking for the experience. So what you're seeing there is probably 1 or 2 people choking to death or dead.
Hold on. I'm trying to...
I can't believe
Have you found it already? I'm trying to... God, your internet has gone down. What's happening?
No.
Our government internet.
What have you got?
Uh-huh.
Have you seen some weird stuff there?
Wait, how do I remove the filter again?
Yes.
Dying.
That's the whole point. Dying, tongues out, choked, right?
That doesn't
on
sound...
ropes.
Yes.
That doesn't
So
sound...
you know what's going on?
So the feeling you're about to die.
No, let me explain what's going on. These guys are so...
That doesn't sound erotic at all.
Yeah, let me explain. These guys are so chasing that high that they discover that during self-service, if they want to intensify the feeling of orgasm, they choke themselves. So you asphyxiate yourself, and as the brain is robbed of oxygen, you get a super high.
Oh, yeah.
When, you see, in real sex, when a guy who knows his stuff causes a woman to hit her freak, the reason the women go into kikaonde and indebere is because the brain is actually robbed of oxygen.
Speaking in tongues.
Yeah. The brain is robbed of oxygen. It's a very intense feeling. Some people pass out. That's the reason for passing out. It's the lack of oxygen. So these people are now replicating that using the rope. And then they literally die. So they pass out and die. So this is the same story with the women going to look for those brothers with 12-inch of steel to do that to them, because as they are getting to that high state, all the blood rushes from the brain to the erogenous zones, and then they get that dying feeling. So that's what it is, guys.
I'm actually in a... I'm in a
in
forum.
short, it's very bad, eh?
I'm in a forum right now where they were recently discussing this like a few days ago, and... Ish, man. How don't I know about these things?
So, but that
I'm spending time in the wrong places, eh?
No, not really. No. I mean, for me, it's because I just research on these things. Otherwise, this is like absolute weird. That's the reason why...
Oh, man. Listen to this girl. She says... So one of the girls says, some don't want to be actually choked. They're just looking for the sensation of having your hand around their neck. This provides both a sense of dominance, submissiveness, and touching an erogenous zone. And one responds saying, and some, like myself, hold their breath.
Yeah.
I hold my breath, and I found this helps build internal pressure that helps facilitate climax. So it's kind of like, hey, why not?
Exactly.
And she does this all the time. Holds her breath until she feels like dying.
Can you imagine?
Then she climaxes.
Can you imagine?
Wow.
So people pass out. People literally pass
Clear
out.
pass out parade.
Yeah. So when you hear about the brothers dying on top, it's that. That's what kills them. Because it's the robbing of oxygen from the brain, and then they choke and die. So what causes that? The chasing after the dope.
But for me,
That experience, it's crazy, and it's addictive as hell. That's why I'm saying that once you go back to that, there's no rescue, guy. I can pray, I can lay hands on you, I can get you swimming in the oil. You are not coming out of it, and that's why I made my statement. And people took me to task for it, but I'm just being truthful. I know what happens to people when they are former community projects who've had all these experiences, and then now they're hungering for that feeling because it's not coming from their home, and they decide to make the mistake of that one experience. Just that one. Let me just that one. That's it. You're sucked in. It's like a vacuum cleaner that has no end. You go in and you're not coming out. You're not coming out except for total destruction, because that's what it does, right? Remember, addiction is like a bull in a glass factory. It destroys everything in its path. When you are in that state, you are actually addicted. This is why even for the men who cheat repeatedly, you know what they are looking for? The dope, that high. They're actually searching for that proverbial high. That's why they keep going after different women. When they see a new woman, that feeling is aroused. Maybe this one.
The we spoke about the Coolidge effect 2 weeks ago on this podcast. Right?
Did you?
Yeah.
So
you see why I said you can't bring up a topic and this man doesn't know what you're talking about. The Coolidge effect, and he says,
That's my point.
Yeah.
But you see, so there's a chasing after. That's why it is so unhealthy to marry such people. I have colleagues who have suffered immensely. Some even died because they married these so-called community projects. I'm just going to be as blunt as possible. And I know as a pastor, no, Jesus is working on people. Yes, but you should not be a fool and marry someone with more mileage than you. The best is let them marry each other. Yes. Even for the community.
They should have a support group.
Yeah, let them marry each other. Because then they can take each other places, right? They can get their freak on, and some people want some crazy weird sex. They can pull all that stuff off.
And at the back of your mind, you're not the first and
you're not the last.
Whatever crazy stuff you're going to see, it's fine.
Like, hey,
you have to bring in something to the table.
We can work this. We can work this. You like to be whacked, smacked in the back? Yeah, let's see.
Let me also bring my crazy.
Do you want me to smack you real hard? I want it to be red. What?
But just to ask, so I don't know. There's this statement they say, before you marry, as a man, you should have played, right? Like you should have done all these weird things.
I don't subscribe to it, but okay. I'm listening. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, I'm just trying to ask, because is that a real thing? Because again, a community project, what I'm getting here, I thought the definition was one-sided towards the women, but it looks like it's both sides now.
For me, to be honest, marry a virgin like my brother here.
So,
marry
but how
a virgin
she has to tell you she's a virgin? Like,
no, you can do some research and of course you must have frank conversations.
Yeah.
This is the way the women are. They're proud. It's like they wear the... Okay. The truth about men and women is this. When a man tells you, so like I said 50, but I know it's 50 because I counted when I was doing my deliverance. But when a guy tells you it's 50, just half that number.
Yeah.
And for a woman?
Yes.
Treble.
Yeah.
This world is not fair, bruh.
But it's a fact.
It's not fair.
Because you see, the world is not fair to the women. Because
Clearly.
they are called a slut.
Definitely.
And here's the part that's most amazing. Do you know who calls women sluts?
Men.
Fellow
women.
Men actually find a woman that's been around amusing as a conquest. So be like, wonder what that would be like to tap that one. That's what men do. So men get amused when they hear there's a woman. But if a woman hears that a fellow woman is all over the place, they're the biggest judgmental people. They're the ones who call them the biggest name. That's just a fact.
So a man can engage in marriage with no experience. Is that what you're saying?
Say again?
A man can engage in marriage without experience.
Yeah, because you see, if he's marrying a virgin woman, she doesn't know what's happening either. So they're kind of learning together.
But women are taught, though. They're taught how to behave, how to do all this kind of stuff.
Taught and reality are two different things.
Yeah.
Like 100%.
Okay.
You can
my
be taught
boss became a marriage counselor like 2 weeks ago. I'm going to ask this again. It's going to be a lengthy discussion for me. I'm going to take it up.
Yeah, but truth be told, when it comes to women, even if they are taught, there are many things that I feel even tradition is not teaching properly. First of all, a lot of the ordinary traditional teaching for women is skewed towards women. In other words, the men don't get taught much, which is extremely unfortunate. And then secondly, even when they are taught what they are taught how to please a man. They're not taught how to gain pleasure in the act.
But okay, sorry.
Yeah,
Kate.
No, feel free.
So the whole teaching, the whole thing, it's like they expect a man to have some level of experience. Because I can tell you, I've somehow, if dropped on this thing, I know what they're taught. I know what they're taught. For example, I'm going to say it, no filtering, right? How to help a man have it stuck in, for example, how to ride him, how to help him feel your clitoris, kind of arrangement. somehow only a man who is experienced can actually, or rather expects that. But the teachings are sort of based on a man who has experienced to some level. This is a story we had for Hyena Man, was it in Malawi? You know, where they would hire this man to test if this lady is a virgin and that kind of arrangement. And then if he qualifies her to be a virgin, then she can get married. But it's because they expect a man to have a level of pleasure. And then they can tell you, don't expect this because she's a virgin. I don't know if you get what the concept is.
Yeah, but you see, when you study that very well, you will see that it's tinged with the modernization of that tradition. Traditionally, it was not expected that man would be anywhere, except if she's marrying an older man. But if they are young and in the same age group, the man was expected to be a virgin. The woman. In fact, what used to happen, the men would go for the circumcision thing. Then when they're done with that, once they've healed properly, immediately they'll be married off. And there's a very good reason for that, by the way. From a study in neuropsychology, the most powerful, imminent, passionate senses of love are in post-teen, teen and post-teen. Sure. So that first crush, it's a very strong feeling. So that's the time in those days, you'd be actually married off at that stage. And that meant that the bond that was formed was very powerful. Okay. It was almost impossible to see divorce happen.
Okay, what
because there was
especially when the couple breaks each other's virginity.
Yes. Because it both are breaking. They are literally experiencing anything to do with sex among themselves
for
first
the first
time
and
for the only time. The society was also, no problem, you answer. The society was also very shielded. The whole community, everybody knew everybody. So it was literally taboo. Okay. Literally taboo for a man or a woman to go out there. That's the story behind why Shaka's wife, Nandi, the illegitimate mother, wife of Senzaka Khan. That's the reason why she underwent so much ostracization. It's because she according to them, there was a violation of that sacredness. The king, or he was a prince then, had an encounter with the woman he was not married to and had a child with her. That was taboo beyond taboo. So she gets kicked out. And literally for all her life, she had no man. Although Ganda's, or whatever his name was, is the one who kind of took her in because he always had a liking for her. But still, it was taboo as well. So you can see the whole society was kind of very moral when it came to the structure of what relationships were. Today, all over the place. So everybody's everywhere playing around, and add to that social media and its pressures, and you're having absolute disaster cases when they're getting now to marry.
Okay. Well done. Sounds like a plus you convinced this man to watch Shaka Ilembe for some reason.
No, I watched the original Shaka.
You watched the original one from the 80s, yeah.
Yeah, but I've watched that one as well. But the original is just way more.
Do you subscribe to the notion that women should be taught traditionally, as it were?
No, of course, absolutely. Both men and women. And the reason is very simple, because marriage is about managing expectations. So the more teaching is done, the more you manage the expectations. Because what really makes the number one cause of divorce and breakdown of marriages is unmet expectations.
Sorry, as you're talking, my girlfriend is on the other side.
Sorry.
Oh, that's your girlfriend there?
Oh, welcome, man.
How are you feeling about her being here on this topic now? How are you feeling?
It's very uncomfortable.
It must be
Sorry,
uncomfortable.
Mama. We didn't realize.
Rev Walter.
Really apologize for the very, very candid stuff. When
you spend time with young guys, and as a married guy, I get asked a lot of these questions by the young guys. Like, dude, if I'm to get into marriage with my girlfriend and not having
sampled the goods,
and then I get into that marriage and not like what comes out of it, what do I do then?
You gotta
Sorry?
I was gonna say you gotta make it work.
You gotta make it work?
Marriage is a covenant. You see, the problem is that we live in a society where they see marriage as a contract. Oh, sorry. They see marriage as a contract. Marriage is not a contract. Marriage is a covenant. From a spiritual standpoint, heavy stuff happens in marriage. Heavy stuff. People have no idea the gravity. In fact, let's put it this way. Did you know that sex is the ultimate seal of the bond between a man and a woman? Sex is spiritual. Do you know that a woman carries a portal? Her vagina is the doorway. It's a gateway to a portal that connects the spirit world and this world. It's the only place on earth where there's a transition from the spirit realm into the physical realm. It's a portal.
Ooh, this is getting interesting.
And because it's
This is
such
getting
a
very interesting.
you know
yeah.
what I mean? And so because it's such a powerful portal, imagine that these girls have to just kind of open it up for any Tom, Dick, Harry, Jim, and Jack. It's so unfortunate because what happens, listen to what happens when you have sex. Let me take this. Let's do this. You have a sound, right? Let's take this into the spirit.
Yes.
When you have sex, here's what happens. First and foremost, there is a secretion. Secretion is basically the release of water. Of the guy, if you're getting aroused, some water is released. The woman, some water is released. This is normal. Now, that water is the first witness of the life to take place.
Our virgin is getting very excited about this topic.
That's why you should keep yourself. And then
Oh, listen, virgin.
keep yourself.
Oh man, I really wish people could see what happens behind the scenes in this room.
So, there is a release of water. Now, the Bible tells us, and you can't believe that the Bible can come into this, but it does. The Bible tells us that there are witnesses on earth. 3 of them, to be specific. Yep. There's the water, there's the blood, and there's the spirit.
Come on.
Yep, and the 3 are one.
The water?
The spirit, the water, and the blood. Now, let me talk about the sex.
And all of us,
So,
all of those things are in us.
yes. So first thing, when 2 people connect, there's a spiritual connection. That's why there's a liking to one another. Each spirit is witnessing to the other at that level. Then when there's this act of sex, the first thing to be witnessed is the water. And if it is a virgin you're marrying, that's why it's supposed to be a virgin. Then there is the blood. When you cut the hymen, there's a releasing of blood. There is no release of blood where there's no, listen, without the remission of blood, without the shedding of blood, there's no remission of sin. Now, in this case, it's the opposite. The blood shed covers. The blood shed witnesses. So the blood of the woman witnesses and stands witness. Blood speaks. We know this. The Bible tells us.
Yeah.
Blood speaks. Then the man releases seed.
Hey.
Which is another form of blood. Because there's life in it. There's 2 places where there's life in the body. In the blood and in the semen of a man. It is men that carry seed. So when the blood is released by the woman, then the seed is released by the man. Now when the seed goes into the womb, the portal opens in the spiritual. You can do the sound
effects.
That's
Go.
right.
Download that for us, please.
And put that on the background as ambience. Now, when this seed comes and connects with the egg, then a zygote is formed. Now, that zygote becomes life. So guess what happens? Water now becomes the witness. There's an enveloping in water. So the seed to be is enveloped in water, the amniotic fluid. And now life begins. So in that instance, there is a release of blood, there's a release of water, there's a release of a spirit, and life is formed. That's why sex is so sacred. Did you know that a woman's womb is shaped like the moon? And did you know that the woman carries all the elements of the universe in her womb?
Go deeper, Papa.
So that's why that's why a woman's cycle and the moon are connected.
Oh, 28 days and
then you just throw that thing around. You know what I mean? Just throw it around. You know, that's why they're messed up. That's why they're messed up. There's no woman with a body count that hasn't got drama in her life. Because you're messing with the elements. You're messing with the element. Every encounter is an altar.
so is there like a soul tie with every man that...
Yes, because remember, even at a biological level, there's oxytocin, the bonding hormone.
Right.
So there's a bond.
Exactly. So
also
now
at
you've
a
got
physical
50
level.
bonds if
Now
you've
let
been-
me go deeper. Did you know that the water released by the man goes into the woman, and that which is not seeded is absorbed? Did you know that?
That's deep. What does that mean?
That means that the more a woman has sex with the same man, the more she begins to be like him and he begins to be like her. They begin to carry each other's
Is
essence.
that why people start looking like each other?
They look like each other, talk like each other, sound like each other. And
There's
even
a song.
think like each
There's
other.
a song
There's
by
a song?
Exa, Tambo
Bala.
Bala.
Yeah.
You see what I'm talking about? And then you want to connect with 50 people? Come on, somebody.
But Water, to be honest, I think
Wait,
that's, to be honest, I think that's actually a big whatever you said, I'm gonna put this as a clip on mine. It's a justification to why then women are more criticized than men. I mean, you said
Because they carry life.
Yeah, but
They
like,
are the source of life. They are the portal.
Yeah.
You know that a man is not a portal. Did you know that?
well,
No, we're not.
it carries
A man-
from the spirit.
Serious?
No, he's not a portal. A man
What
is not
are
a-
we?
We are the projector. We are the source that opens the portal. We are the key to open the portal.
We
But the
open.
portal is the woman.
We open.
We open.
Rev,
12 inches of
to this. This is a pastor, and I don't know where this was being discussed. I think it is in Ghana. Why is divorce on the rise? And this lady says, marry a man only when you've had a feel of his manhood. Listen to this for a little bit. Listen to this. Listen to this.
Okay.
And it just... Wait.
I am one of the women of God who thinks that before you marry a man, you must see his penis. You must see it, you must hold it, you must feel it, and make sure it's working. Why are you being like uncomfortable like that?
No, I want to make a
Let me
point.
take a cup of tea.
Yes, you do. Let me drink water. Thank you, awake.
I am one of the women of God who thinks that before you marry a man, you must see his penis.
Your opinion on this. Your opinion on this matter.
Now, if
And
you
she's
are-
a pastor.
I know, but for me, I have some issues with that. Because let me tell you something that a lot of people may not realize. Did you know that the mark and seal of a marriage is not the vows? Did you know that?
Come on.
I'm going to say that again. The mark and seal of a marriage is not the vows. It's the consummation. It's the actual sex act. That's the seal of marriage. And if you marry someone who cannot do that, in 28 days, you can go to any court in the world and they'll grant you divorce instantly on account of we did not consummate the marriage. So
Repeat that.
we did not consummate the
28?
marriage. 28 days.
If you get married and there's no sex within 28 days,
You can end the marriage. It is a legal right. In fact, instant granted of divorce. It's
Even
not-
in this country?
Yes. It's not even a go
Hey.
and search for 2 years. No. It's instant. It's like you just go and say, this man can't rise to the occasion.
talk about being ignorant.
Check it
too.
out. Check it out.
Wait,
It's real law.
so does a woman walk away with the benefits of a normal divorce?
Yes.
But that's a trap.
No, it's not a trap.
On the legal side, that's a trap. 'Cause-
No, but listen, because this woman said something which I don't agree to.
Is she an African pastor?
Yes,
she's
she's
from
a prophet.
Ghana.
I've watched her.
So as in, is she African tradition pastor?
No. She seems to be some
Like a Christian pastor?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. Like one of those.
And she does say at the beginning of the video,
You must see it, you must hold it.
And you must taste it.
No, because I'm thinking in an African setup, right? Remember how, for example, you couldn't. I don't know. My grandmother says you couldn't divorce a woman because she had small boobs, for example.
No, that's
Yeah,
that's
so you couldn't because in an African setup, you've already seen because they were moving
Yes,
back
yes.
then.
No, but listen, the thing about this is this. If you have not penetrated that woman, or if you have not given sex to that woman, she has every legal right. She has every legal right to call. Yeah, because you have not, bluntly put, you've not shagged. If you've not shagged, it's not a marriage. So there has to be sex. And now, here's the part that's amazing. Not only must there be sex, but it must be seen. You know, in traditional...
Wait, sorry. Is this why the shape, I'm taking you back,
What?
the shape of the moon and the whatever, is the reason why they call it the honeymoon?
Yes! Now you are getting it. Now you are following. So you see, the moon, the womb of a woman is shaped like a moon because it represents the power of the moon. And that's why she has that menstrual cycle. It follows the cycle of the moon. Okay? So... It follows the shape of the moon. So, sorry, the cycles of the moon. And so it speaks. And that's why I say it's a portal. It's a door. Now, if that door is not opened by the man, there's no marriage there. Remember, the blood must witness. The water must witness. How will the water and the blood not witness, and then you call that a marriage? It's not a marriage. So there has to be a witness. Now, in the old days, this is what used to happen. In the old days, especially in the Jewish custom, when you got married, this is real. They would actually take the parties. There would be the bridal party and there would be the bride's family and the groom's family. And you would go to the home. There is a specific bridal home prepared for you guys. And there's a specific new bed.
White sheets.
Yes, with white sheets prepared. And then you, the bride and groom, would go into the room and these guys would wait in the sitting room. Then you do your business. And when you've done your business, the woman will bleed on the sheet. Then when done, the man will take the sheet, hand it over to the father of the bride. The father of the bride will come to the place, lift the sheet, and there will be a clap. That means 1, there's been consummation. 2, there's been the shedding of blood.
What if she doesn't shed blood?
So you know what
Consummation
happens now?
has happened.
Absolutely. So here's what happens in especially in the Muslim circles. You see, this is a wickedness of human beings because of trying to keep a tradition. So in Muslim circles, what happens is because of this issue of virginity, so they have gone anal. So a lot of Muslim women, you find that they have a major problem with sodomy and anal sex because that's what they give up in the time up to the marriage. Then when the dog is protesting. So then when the time comes now for the marriage, then now she gives up the front. So unfortunately, what it has done is it has created a whole industry of people that are sodomizing. So you find that in Muslim countries, sodomy is a huge problem. It's not just it's a huge problem. Because they're all trying to meet this tradition, but all of them are busy mucking around before marriage. So, and then they continue it. That's why some of these countries, no names mentioned, people go there to be trafficked as slaves who do these things. It is to cover for that same issue.
Hey,
Deep suffer.
This episode took a whole different turn from what I expected, man. Like a whole different turn.
You started it.
Enough with the sex. Can we talk about you for a little bit? I was watching the testimonies that you sent.
Yes, the 3.
There's one with the title. I didn't quite get to it. Your death. Did you die at some point?
No, it is death and rebirth. No, it was just it was just my encounters when I got saved. My encounters with
but the title was My Death and Rebirth.
Yes.
Okay, tell us a bit more.
So
about
literally, it's my encounters with the enemy. You know, I have a very deep occultic background. It's one of the reasons why you notice I write a lot on the occult. Now, I think I've reached a point where now the Lord has brought back to remembrance everything that I knew from those days. Because I was deep into theosophy. So I'm a skeptic by nature. So being a skeptic, I say that even on the other hand.
Yes.
So being a skeptic by nature, I completely rejected the Christian message. It didn't add up for me as a youngster. So but then I was a seeker as well. So I loved the idea of the mysterious, the idea of the netherworld and the underworld and So I went. So one discipline that I found very, very nice, which I enjoyed thoroughly, was theosophy. I went into theosophy, which is basically rebooted Gnosticism. And theosophy allowed me to get deep into learning about the occult. And so in the process of the occult, I got very deep into it. Now, when I got saved, this occultic knowledge, I ditched everything. But I had visitations from the devil. So there were 3 experiences I had where the devil literally came to me and talked to me.
What does that look like? How does he look?
No, he comes in. You see, this is being a student of the occult. I understand what we term types and shadows. Okay. What we term iconography. This is basically imagery. The mind uses imagery to represent itself. So when you have issues, that's why in dream interpretation, whatever you dream is a symbol. It's not literal. It's not it's figurative rather than literal of an event. So for example, you dream of weddings. That's got a whole different meaning. It doesn't mean you're going to get married. It's got something to do with the symbolism of marriage.
Shouldn't take it literally.
So
Right.
now I had that type of experience with the devil. The first time he appeared as a dragon. All 3 times he appeared as an actor. But the first time he appeared as a dragon. The second time he appeared as a jaguar, a lion. Hey, Elson.
The late Elson.
How you doing?
Crazy.
Did you get your deal?
Where's the...
Somewhere?
Did you get your deal?
I got it a long time ago.
So why were you doing that? All this time. So how does it work?
Go. What do we do? Huh? I go in the middle?
And I was so relaxed. My legs were...
Oh, right. Okay, Elson comes this way.
And I was so relaxed. My legs were even stretched.
I know, right?
Oh, I'm supposed to sit here. Okay. And what did you do about... Oh, this thing. Oh, it's holding the light, huh? I didn't realize, huh?
You can go around it, Elson.
Go around, watch.
Woo!
Oh, no.
That's what I was saying. Go around it.
I didn't see that actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do that.
And me, I was being amused with the light. Wow, Naga. So I was on point. Oh, there you go. Okay.
All right.
Is this thing plugged in?
No. From the good things. There you go.
Now.
Now it will be good. But you missed the most interesting part, also. I'm informed. Like it was his topic, eh? Would you say it is his topic?
Yep.
That one we were doing?
What topic is that?
Yeah, so the encounter with the devil.
Yeah, so essentially, so he came in 3 different forms. Oh, sorry. Because of the camera, right? So first and foremost, I had, he came as a jaguar, then he came as dragon, then a jaguar, and then last time as a person, 3 times.
Like
Person was-
physically, in the flesh.
In a trance. It was a trance. Definitely was a trance. All 3 times were trances. So they were not...
Okay, let's start with the dragon. What does that look like? What was the message?
No,
What-
look, basically, every morning I would have my devotion. This was like literally in the first 1 week of my salvation.
Yeah.
I always would have my devotion. I learned how to do this devotion. So I'll do the devotion. But that particular day, as I was winding up my devotion, it was a very short devotion. I used to do like 15 minutes. So as I was winding it up, just then, it felt like I napped. But I know it wasn't a nap. But it felt like I napped. So I used to have a VHS player in my room, and you remember those old VHS that would be blinking with like a little number thing, and if you pull the cable out, it goes to 000. You remember those? It's ages ago, right? So I had one of those, and it was 7:55. So I would watch that. So at 8, I'm on my way to my gig. So at 7:57, it's blinking, and it just stopped blinking. I'm like, huh? And then as I was thinking about why it's not blinking, then there's a person in the room with me. Comes in the form of an actor. I'll never name the people, the forms it came as, because it's not fair for those actors. But it came in the form of that particular actor.
Right.
And it says, then I say, oh, wow, who are you? What are you doing in my room? Then he smiles. And then I say, oh, wow, are you an angel? Then he says, you think so? I said, well, that would be a great thing if an angel could come and visit me in my prayer time. Then now he says, and that's how I now know. He says, if you think God can send an angel to come and visit you, you have another thing coming. And then who are you? And then that's how it starts to change. He changes from the form of the actor into a literal dragon. Tongue comes out, it stretches, turns into 2 things. 2 things, the double tongue thing, into my nostrils. Yeah, the fork, yes. Into my nostril, and then I'm still dealing with that. His set of hands come, block my ears, and now another one comes and blocks my ears. So I'm really freaking out now.
What movie is this?
It's not a movie, it's an experience.
End of days.
with,
Sounds like a fascinating movie.
Remember the Arnold Schwarzenegger one, End of Days?
Yes, that's the one.
Yeah.
So it was really freaky, and as I'm freaking out, I can't say anything, and he's literally giving me this horrible
Why
smirk.
do you think it's a he? Why not a she?
Because he came in the form of a man. So every single one of the 3 appearances were in a manly form. But what really freaked me out is the fact that I couldn't breathe. And I wanted to shout at the name of Jesus, but I couldn't because my nostrils were blocked. My mouth was blocked. So I couldn't do anything. And then I began to shout it in my heart. And as I did that, as I kept shouting it out in my heart, then finally the mouth thing came out. And now I rebuked in the name of Jesus. And at that stage, it stopped and then just looked at me. And then this statement came 3 times, and that's why, maybe for me, that's one of the reasons why I can never do what I was telling you, in spite of what I go through, to go back into my old life. No, because this is what he said. He said, "You are so fortunate that you're hiding in him, but let me tell you this: the day you come out of this you're in, I will kill you. And I will be waiting for you. We will kill you."
What's going on?
Did they ever give a reason for the attack?
For me, when I look at it in hindsight, I think it was really a case of perhaps I pissed off whatever spirits I was able to operate with when I was in the occult. The fact that I exited that space. Yeah, I think for me, when I sit with my brain trying to rationalize the whole thing, that is the only excuse I can think of. The fact that perhaps with the assignment on my life and the destiny in my life, this is something that pissed off those spirits.
Is this movie on Netflix? What's the name of this?
Just for laymen, describe to us, what is the occult? How did you get into it? Why did you get into it?
Okay, so what is the occult? It's hidden knowledge. Just literally, occult means hidden knowledge. So as the world exists today, there are 2 laws. There are natural laws, spiritual laws. And these 2 laws all operate within the realms and confines of what the Almighty Creator put. So everything in this realm and other realms within the various levels have laws. Everything in life operates by laws, and they are God's.
So there's good and bad even in the occult.
I wouldn't say good or bad. They're just laws. Laws have neither good nor bad.
My point is, every time you hear the word occult, you're quickly driven to Satanism.
Yes, you know why? Because when you look at quote-unquote Satanism, these are people who have taken advantage of these laws and used them for their own end. So the difference between the light and darkness is that the light is selfless. The darkness is selfish. The light points to God. The darkness points to self. And behind self, Lucifer, the ultimate expression of self. So, and that's all pride, by the way. So these laws exist, but because man fell, God saw it fit in his infinite wisdom, which is beyond understanding, to not allow man in his fallen state to continue in that knowledge. So now, what is hidden laws? To understand hidden laws, I have to quote a terrible man, but I'll quote him anyway because his quote is very powerful. No. This guy is worse than Hitler. Hitler learned from this guy. No, Trump is a cool guy. This guy learned from Hitler. No, Hitler learned from him. This guy learned from the guy I'm quoting.
Just say the guy's name.
Yeah, I'm about to tell you. So Aleister Crowley has a quote.
Wait, Aleister?
Aleister Crowley. Crowley, you know heard of Aleister Crowley?
Nope.
Like the Beast, 666.
No.
The guy quotes Sgt. Pepper. You know, the Beatles, Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
Everybody quotes him. Jay-Z, OTO, you know.
Oh, English occultist, okay.
Yeah, that guy. So, Aleister Crowley has a quote which states, and I quote, it says, "Magic is the manipulation of natural law using hidden knowledge." So there are many things in nature we do not understand, nor can we manipulate them because we do not have the knowledge to do so. But it is amazing to learn that in times past, beings that rebelled against God brought that knowledge illegally on earth, taught the knowledge to fallen man. And so God had to intervene to stop this transfer of knowledge. But since then, because the laws of God and his presence forbade this knowledge has been hidden ever since and passed secretly. That's why you call them secret societies and secret meetings and secret groups. They would teach this knowledge, but not openly. Because if you teach this knowledge to people that are not initiates, people that are not knowledgeable, then they can use that knowledge for terrible destruction. And in the process, violate the very laws they are trying not to violate. You get my point? That's why even when people would be initiated, they had to make sure that those individuals have the maturity of temperance in terms of their mentality to manage this level of knowledge. And here's the funny thing about knowledge. The deeper the knowledge, the higher you will ascend. So elitism is tied to knowledge. So that's
Ascend to
what, to a higher level. You know, KRS-One, by the way, do you know what that stands for? The rapper, KRS-One?
No, I know KRS, but I don't know what it stands for.
No, KRS-One?
Yeah, I know KRS-One.
What-
I'm saying what does it stand for?
Oh, you don't know what?
No.
Okay.
I know
it's-
the rapper though.
Yes.
Big ass nose.
Yeah, very.
That's the sound of the police.
That's it. So KRS-One stands for knowledge reigns supreme
Oh, yeah.
over nearly everyone. So KRS-One is a deep adherent of OTO and all this. In fact, he's a 5%er. Now, if you study the concept behind the 5%ers, it's the fact that with knowledge comes ascendance. So you can control more people. And that's a fact, actually. I can prove it even in society. You can see it. So people who have more knowledge tend to be more ascended. And people with less knowledge are down here. The ruled have less knowledge. That's what makes them great to rule. But the rulers have knowledge. And that's why they put gatekeepers.
Is it knowledge or wisdom?
No. Knowledge. Wisdom is totally different. Knowledge. Literal knowledge. Because you know what knowledge is?
Application of wisdom.
That's right. In fact, let's put it this way. Wisdom is the ability to know how to judge and operate correctly in a given situation. That's wisdom.
I get it. You could have
Then-
knowledge, but what you do with it.
No, most people don't have
essentially.
knowledge. Knowledge. You know what knowledge does, Elsa? Knowledge, once you know something, you can never go back.
I understand
You
that.
get that, huh?
But I'm saying way in how you apply it is
Of
where
course.
wisdom comes in.
Not really, but I hear you. Not really. And I'll disagree because there is such a thing as wise fools
True.
or wise poor. There are a lot of
Plenty.
wise people but poor.
Plenty of them.
But there are no people with real knowledge.
Like,
Who are
I'm poor
poor.
subjective.
Of course, I agree. But generally speaking, everyone that carries a certain level of knowledge will always be an elite. They'll always be a guru. They're always held up because it's that knowledge that allows them to rule over the rest.
Yeah, but then again, I feel like that's subjective because there are people with immense knowledge, but it's what they do with it. I'll give you Joshua Maponga, for example. Immense knowledge.
You know the thing about Maponga? Anybody with that level of knowledge who is out in the open, like me, is usually trying to free people. So people with knowledge, like the real knowledge holders, do not free people. They must perpetuate
Wait,
the rule
I want you to finish your sentence. They're trying to free people,
from being sheeple.
right? And so what's the downside to that?
The downside is that you go against the people that really matter, the people with the power. They
Hence
will
wh-
oppose
hence
you.
why I've said you might have knowledge, but it's what you do with it.
Of course. But the truth of the matter is,
Because this man is literally living in a cave.
well, he's not living in a cave. It's just for polls. I know him personally. So
I know him personally too.
You know that we've debated with him on stage,
In
right?
September.
Yes. So the thing about Maponga is Maponga has his own agenda. He's a great guy. I have a lot of respect for him. But he's got his own agenda. And his agenda really, honestly, is driven by the fact, and now will this be quoted? But let me put it this way. Maponga is a man that has a score to settle.
With the
If I
church.
could- yep, absolutely. Absolutely. The church did a lot of harm to him. So he has a score to settle, for starters. So that in itself means he's not using the knowledge to feather himself. He's using the knowledge to destroy. Now, the law of sowing and reaping and the law of correspondence states that as you are on the outside, on the inside, so are you on the outside. And what you push out is what comes back. So reciprocity. And that has an impact on what the knowledge can do for you. See, this thing comes with serious rules. Even for Satanists, even for occultists, there are rules to the game. And you violate those rules, it turns back on you. So that's why there's so much guarding about going to the next level. They really have to ensure these individuals have the capacity internally in terms of their persona to handle that level of knowledge because it comes with great power. So many do not have that capacity because they're hurting, because they've got issues. So occasionally a Hitler rises up in the world. But what you note is that even a man like Hitler was deeply occultic. very, very, nothing in Hitler Germany was by chance. From the swastika to their philosophies and what they did with everything, it was all deliberate.
And he wasn't even German.
That's the irony. Now,
Austrian,
here's
right?
the most interesting thing about Hitler, which I can't say even much because it put me in trouble and I'm not ready for that war. The people behind him were very deliberate in what they did. You see, in these realms of the occultic dark, the currency of operation, I've said it before and I'll say it again, is blood. In the physical realm, our currency is gold. Forget about the money, that's nonsense. But the real value of currency is gold. And there's a reason gold is such a powerful currency of value. It's because gold is literally the energy source of the gods. I won't go further. So, gold is very important. And that's why it operates, and that's why we have this fascination with this metal. In the spiritual, it's blood. So, note what people like Hitler did and how they paid with blood. And check the world to see what significant, check what significant events occurred as a result of the shedding of blood. To give you, I hear you, to give you an illustration, and I think this is a very powerful illustration. In the I don't know what century that was, but I think it's in 1400 AD, the Mayan Indians or Incan Indians, I'm not too sure which ones, I think it's Mayans. The Mayans built a
Pyramid?
Yeah, a pyramid. I've forgotten the name of the pyramid, but I think it's in Titiwakayil. And this pyramid, after being built, they had to carry out a ceremony. And in that ceremony, they were dedicating the temple, that thing, to their god. Now, there are gods in every territory. And I talk about this a lot in the occult. Very real. There are gods everywhere. And the Bible acknowledges them, by the way. So now, this particular god, for him to be able to receive the power and activate that place, do you know how many people they slaughtered in 3 days?
Was it what we saw in the movie Apocalypto?
Absolutely. In fact, what you saw in Apocalypto was just a dramatic, addition to a narrative, but that's very real. So in 3 days, they slaughtered 14,000 human beings. Literally, the same way you saw it in Apocalypto, the priest would stab them, pull out their heart, beating heart. Their body would roll to the bottom. Blood would spill everywhere. When they were done with the ceremony, there was blood all around that structure.
I know someone from Equatorial Guinea who slaughtered more.
Who was that?
Belshazzar.
Silly joke.
Oh, I get it. You and your right jokes. So, now, after the 14,000 people died, the god of that place was appeased. Now, let me show you a parallel in scripture so that you understand the currency of blood. Where do we see mass slaughter in the Bible in dedicating of a structure? The temple. The only difference is because God is the creator, he had a specific law forbidding the use of human beings. So what happened? They used animals.
Yeah.
So the Bible tells us that 22,000 bulls, 40 something thousand goats. And I mean, just picture that. Just take yourself mentally and in your imagination and sit or stand there and look at the scene where 22,000 bulls are slaughtered. What kind of blood would be there? What would the priest's hands look like? What would their garments look like? What would the place look like? And then you know what happened? After all that, then Solomon makes a prayer and fire comes from heaven and burns all the carcasses in their presence. So the blood draws power. So that's my point. So you look at Hitler, Germany, whatever it is, and ask yourself, how many people were deliberately, systematically slaughtered? Systematically. Like, what was the goal?
6 million Jews?
That's the part they like to say. But everybody forgets that to the 6 million were another 12 to 14 million Polish and Russians and German dissenters. And there were so many other people. We hear about the 6 million because of who they were. But it's way more than that. And without giving away too much, what was born after that? I'll leave it at that. You go do your own.
Why are you hanging now,
No, because it's too much of a it's too painful. If I say this, it literally...
It won't hurt us, trust me.
No, it won't hurt you, but it will put me in trouble.
With who?
with those that have the power.
I can tell that you don't get invited to a lot of brides, do you?
No.
I'm sure you leave a lot of stories hanging.
No, at least it's not being recorded. At least that's the beauty. But bottom line is there is power in death. That's why war is the number one profiteering activity in the world. Let nobody cheat you about gold or mining. It's war. It's war. And war involves two things. The massive utilization of weapons that cost an arm and a leg, and two, the shedding of blood. And if blood is the currency of the spirit world.
But
no, for real. If blood is the currency. Yes.
That is the eventuality of using weapons. I mean,
of course.
If people are not going to die, what are you using the weapons for? So you can't say it involves two things. It involves one thing, really.
Which leads to the other.
Which leads to the other.
But what's the goal? Isn't the goal to just kill?
Oh, to sell guns.
Which have to be used, not so.
Hey, because that's a byproduct. That's a byproduct.
That's the part, Elson. So the aim is let them go slaughter each other. So that as they slaughter each other, blood is shed. And when blood is shed, gods are appeased.
I feel, and look, you are far more intelligent than I am. But I feel, depending on whatever theory that you run on, there is always stuff that can
add up,
support.
Yeah, no, that one I want to refuse. There's been a saying.
Do you get what I mean?
No, let me even give you the saying. It's a great saying. If you torture the data enough, it will tell you anything.
So, yeah, if really the point that you're trying to prove is death and bloodshed,
because it was the occult issue.
No, I hear you. I hear you. You can look for so many examples in the world that have happened. You can go to COVID-19. You can go to what Hitler did. You can go to the New World Order and all this stuff.
And there's also confirmation bias.
Right. And it will support whatever it is that you... So, I don't know.
Of course, cognitive bias is always there. I agree with you. Cognitive bias is real. And many times, I think it's Sherlock Holmes. I always get the saying wrong, but it's a very good saying. In Sherlock Holmes, there's the famous statement where Watson, I think it's Sherlock Holmes telling Dr. Watson, and he says, if all is eliminated, whatever remains, no matter how improbable, must be the truth. Yes, I've kind of not phrased it correctly, but that's about it.
I hear you. I hear you.
And so at the end of the day, some of this stuff that goes on in the world, especially with the occult, I mean, if the occult isn't such a big deal, why is it hidden? You see? And why is it hidden exactly? Because my answer is simple. Because they that have knowledge can rule over they without knowledge. It's as simple as that. And the truth is that the people at the bottom of the pyramid must be dumbed down and kept dumb so that they can remain ruled by the elite.
So what are you saying about Simon on TikTok?
The quote is...
Have you had some brothers, Reverend?
Hold on. The quote from Sherlock Holmes about eliminating the impossible is, when you have eliminated all that which is possible, then whatever remains, however improbable, must be the truth.
Have you had some brothers?
What about the brothers?
Yeah, he tasted. He loved it.
Oh, no, I drank the drink.
Did you like it?
No, I loved it.
He hasn't tasted the brothers.
No, I was... No, the brothers.
Illegal, sir.
No.
I mean, Chela would be talking about you. And Chela did speak about some pastor.
That guy is a very interesting guy. So did he speak about a pastor? He mentioned the pastor.
He mentioned some pastor.
Gosh, the number of calls I got when he posted that.
Wait, sorry to ask, but which pastor? You don't want to be sued.
Just go back and check.
I don't know why people now think Elson is gay. I can confirm he isn't.
No, you didn't.
But you know what's crazy is I looked at that list. That list looked like a list of successful people.
Yeah.
There's nobody broke on that list.
Yeah.
I'm actually having...
justify his list then, because they say the gay community is never broke.
Oh, it explains why you're broke then.
Which it depends which gay community. But
that's a very good question, actually.
But here's the thing. The problem with people like him and his list is that it is probably 50% true. And the other 50 isn't. But the problem is that for the yes.
Please fish out that list.
Wait, so why do you think it's 50% true?
Because there are some people I know on that list who are definitely not gay.
Wait, so the ones that you think are, what makes you think they are?
People like me who is a former musician that was in that community, not the gay one.
Were
but
you in
that
the gay community?
No, the community. Do you know that the artistic space has a lot of gay people?
Okay.
So you get to
So does the fashion space?
yeah,
Which falls under, right?
Plenty.
Wait, hold-
so you tend to get to know them very well. And you know, people like myself would be very categorical when I'd interact with them. I'd say, hey.
Wait, so were the people that were mentioned by Chela who you recognized as being gay?
Yeah, absolutely.
Like who?
No, I'm not going to mention. You want me to be sure?
Wait, so how do you know they're gay?
Nah, there's signs, dude.
Like what? Tell me 2 signs.
I'll give you 2. One, they tend to be very well groomed.
We always say that.
Wait, that's
No, dude. There's a level of grooming, but
then
two.
there's that one.
Niggas were always
for
particular
me,
about hairline,
absolutely.
names,
You know
and
what?
nails.
you get a haircut every 3 weeks, every 3 days.
Yeah.
No, 5.
Right, so what does that say about him?
No.
Do I look very groomed right now?
No, because we shot 2 podcasts today. We shot 2 goddamn podcasts
And I had to
today.
change.
And you had to change.
No, but
No,
on a
but you can
serious
see,
note,
dude, there's brothers who
do
are
you know the
about
term?
toenails.
Yes. So we call it a metrosexual. So most metrosexuals are gay because they're so particular about how they carry themselves, how they dress. They tend to be a bit on the bright side, color dressing. You know, us guys are very chilled on color.
We'll put on whatever is available
You know
and
what
leave the
I mean?
house.
I don't know. I don't know.
We don't overdo it.
I can tell you gay people who do not fit the description of what you've just said.
That
But
was
even
one.
in the gay
No,
community,
that
there's
was
2
one.
types of gays. He
Yeah,
said.
there's the man and the woman. So we'll get to that.
Yeah.
So the one that's very bright is the woman
Right.
because she's like
That's the one that's at the bottom.
they're the ones who have to attract the guy.
Right.
So they're the ones who even have the.
They have to be the flower.
So, okay.
You know what I mean? Like which
So,
one?
they're the ones that groom a lot.
No, I'm getting there. So now one, they have the whole look thing, well
Right.
groomed.
Yeah.
Then the second one, they are very. They have a way that they interact with fellow men, and all you need to do is just see the Tuma signs.
Okay.
So one of the Tuma signs is that they have odd pictures. I call them odd pictures. I mean, how many times also do you go to have a meal with what's his name, and then you take a picture and you're like, we're holding forks and the food and then we're all there and they're like, do it now, and we're posing with our forks.
Yeah, we never do it.
Never. I've never done it. I've been with all my guys and dudes all over the place. Never posed eating. We even look at the camera together. No. Those are what we call subliminal signals to let you know. And if you're very particular, you can actually double check to see what position they're in, who's sitting left, who's sitting right, how they're holding those plates. That's going to tell you who's the man and who's the woman in that relationship.
See, the reason why
I'm going to give you a third one. But
sure,
look
go
at-
ahead.
So the third one,
Unsolicited, but here it comes.
the third sign, and this is really an interesting one, is they I'm trying to think of how to frame this one without it coming out wrong. No, I think these 2 are the highest because the third one is very difficult to pin.
Subtle.
Yeah, I was going to say they're not married or whatever, but it's tricky because some of them will marry for pose, even have kids for pose. But they are not.
That's called a
they're-
beard.
Huh?
It's called a beard.
Yeah. But they're not really going.
Go to what?
A beard.
Like a beard.
Yeah, so what he's just described is, like when there's gay people who
Marry
get a
for show.
girlfriend or get married for show, that facade is called a beard.
That's right.
Spelled the same as a beard?
Yeah.
Oh, right.
So it's just for show.
You learn something
but
new every
but
day.
it's not real.
But look, Culling and I have always laughed. In
now
fact,
I've got
wait,
the
hold on,
third
let me
one.
just
But
finish. Let me just finish. Culling and I had a gaydar, right?
A what?
Yeah.
Like a gaydar,
can
like a
pick up,
radar,
like,
but a gaydar. Where if we are in a room and someone gay walks in, it's like we are able to like that. But before I go in, there's a point that you wanted to make. Go ahead. The third one.
It's gone. It slipped my head.
say.
Sorry, guys.
It'll come back.
It'll come back here.
The only problem that I have with what you have just said is those are the ones that, like you've said, they're flamboyant, Their clothing is very loud. There are people that, unless you're told are gay, you never know they're gay.
I agree.
So they don't do any of what you've just said.
Not for sure.
The grooming, the photos with the fork and everything, none of that. I can show you a photo, right? With a bunch of people, and I'll say, pick out the gay person here. You will not be able to.
No, it's very
unless
difficult.
you're told.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Or you know their lifestyle.
Or you know their lifestyle.
Yeah. So
Precisely.
you have an idea because there'll be certain things they do
Hence why.
which
hence
become
right.
yours.
Right.
Your
Like the
red
guys
flags.
in what's up with Tyler Perry and homosexuality?
I said the same damn thing.
Beauty in Black. Have you seen that?
Okay,
There
I
are
haven't-
so
I haven't
many-
watched-
there are so many unnecessary
gave up.
gay scenes
I
there.
gave up. In fact, for me, I couldn't even go past other 10 minutes. I said no.
Oh,
no,
you-
no.
Beauty in Black, right?
There was a gay scene in the first 10 minutes, right?
Yes.
Listen,
What's up with Tyler Perry pushing this agenda now?
I already had issues with Mia Culpa, which I thought was horrible.
my theory is there must be a shitload of funding if you push a certain agenda.
I agree. It has
So
to be
if
that.
you
No, but me,
involve-
I think he's also just coming out now because there's no way a guy who claims to be a Christian.
Nah, he's pushing the agenda a little too much.
No, it's way beyond. Because even
You see,
Mia Culpa.
you
Because
see,
even Mia,
most
have you
movies-
watched Mia Culpa though?
Most movies will
I've
hint
seen that, yeah.
at being gay,
Do you
homosexual.
think-
This one has sex scenes with gay guys.
Yes.
There are
It's
scenes
like what
like
was
I'm
going on
saying
with
that are
Empire.
very unnecessary.
Yes.
Like the one where the mother catches him with the other guy, right?
I was saying the same thing.
Come on.
That guy could have been having coffee.
Yeah.
You know what I
Both.
mean? And just suggested.
Hey, but you don't have to do because you remember the way they
Show
used
the
to
guy
do it?
bent over. Like, what the hell, man? Have you
No,
seen it go?
and you know the problem. That's where I had
They
issues.
show it twice. The mother
Yeah.
walking into the house,
He's humping his friend. Like,
and then she goes into the bedroom,
And
and,
this-
the guy's still smashing.
I'm telling you. And you
Nah,
know, it's
man.
like the same thing that was going on with Empire and Lee Daniels. So the whole, I don't know why he's not standing. So the whole Empire thing was very bad because Empire is the one that really, Empire, I stopped watching it for that reason. I said,
No, the son.
Yeah, I
the
remember
one
the
that got
son,
arrested.
Jamal became gay, but there was another one who was also gay, and there was all. And the problem with that movie is that we can get the gay thing without getting into the whole passionate sex. I mean, the movie that kind of opened the can of worms, I think, is Crying Game, but Crying Game wasn't so bad. The one that really was in your face was Brokeback Mountain. That was
Brokeback Mountain.
definitely.
No, that was
that one
horrible.
launched it all.
man. I mean,
But then again, to play the devil advocate for a second, not all content is for everybody.
yeah. But
There'll be shit for you, and there'll be shit that's not for you, right?
Yeah.
And I remember I had a conversation with a really good friend of mine, and she really hates gay people. And I asked her why. You say, what? Yeah. And I asked her why. Then she said, imagine I'm sitting here with my daughter and two women and come in and they start to kiss. What do I tell my daughter? And I said, now you sound like a lazy parent.
yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
Because that right there is your opportunity to speak to your
speak to-
child
yes.
about same-sex relations.
In fact, I like what you're saying because essentially, just 2 days ago,
right.
my son and his friend, now they're like 13, 14, so
Yeah.
they're that age.
Yeah.
I'm very candid with them. So I took that opportunity because I don't know what has happened in the social media circles, but there's this thing going on about the gay people. It's like really doing the rounds. I don't know if it's because of Chella's tweets, but something's been happening with the gay thing. So my son and his friend were like, me, I don't understand. Then I said, in fact, you guys, you've done well to ask me about this. I already told you about it, but today I'm going to be graphic because you guys are bigger guys. Do you know the implication of this lifestyle? Then they said, what is it? It means one of you is a man and one is the woman. And they actually have to take their lolo and stick it into the backside where your poo-poo comes out. These kids started laughing. Daddy, I said, yes. And one of you has to bend over so that the other does that. Does that sound natural to you? The kids were so like, Daddy. I said, yeah.
That's what I admire about you.
Yeah.
Is you took that opportunity
To go for it.
because you're never going to sit down with your child and you say, right, today for the next 3 hours, I'm going to parent
Yeah, you know.
about the following. You parent as life goes on.
Take a bull by
When the
horns,
spot
yeah.
comes up. Yeah,
I've
absolutely.
always said how my dad used to parent. We could be driving and we see a couple and the woman is I've said this on the podcast. The woman is walking on the curbside. My father would say, do you see that picture? I say, yes. It's like, what's wrong with it? So then I look at them. I'm like, is it the dressing? No. They're not holding hands? No. And I would keep going and I was like, the woman is on the curbside or on the side that is right next to the road.
Because, yes.
It should be the other way around.
The man should be protecting.
Bingo.
Same with the kids, absolutely.
Right, so he would just say, look at that, tell me what's wrong. And to this day, right, I'm damn near 40. I remember how this man used to parent, which is, because we used to drive together. My dad owned the bottle stores and nightclubs, and everything that he used to do, we used to do together. And best believe, if you spend that much time with him, whatever topic, it's bound to come up at some place.
On the spot.
So many prostitutes would hang around my dad's bars. So we had so much talk about that, protected sex and domestic violence. This dude starts beating up on his woman. So
In the club.
I've sort of adopted the same kind of
Attitude.
parenting style with Eli, where when the opportunity arises,
On the spot.
I'm like, you see that?
Yeah.
You don't do that. All right. And yeah.
And so for me, that was a chance to talk about it. So bottom line is 50% of those people are not 50, maybe 75. But I know for a fact. I mean, I know some of these guys. I know what their problem is. This is not that. But of course, somebody told me, you are never behind this. Are you with these people 24/7? I said, no. So then I say, okay, if I'm not with them 24/7, how does this person, who is probably further than them, know? To be able to actually
Rev,
authoritatively say this person's gay.
yeah, of course. That's why I said, how can you actually really tell? Because mannerisms is one thing.
Yeah.
But speaking of, you heard Virgin. I want you to pull up this. Just run your Googles. You heard that the Catholic Church paid a little over $1 billion
Damages.
to
The parents of all those altar boys, many boys, who were victims of sodomizing.
just recently. One of those archbishops who's based in England has had to resign. Did you hear about him?
Oh, yes.
Because of all the shit that he did when he was in Zimbabwe and over the years.
Even here.
Oh, he did the same shit here?
Yes, even here, bro.
What's your thought on that? And because these
So you
these
know
are
what
men of
my-
the cloth, right?
You know what my thought is?
Tell me.
Now I know this is gonna sound funny. I can remember a talk on occult. Kalenga.
Yeah.
The occult.
Yeah.
So let me tell you. Did you know that sodomizing, the very act of sodomizing, is one of the most powerful, potent sexual acts you can use to trigger?
I can believe that.
To trigger and draw power out of the object that you're sodomizing.
I can believe that. Because
I'm
I
glad
honestly
to hear
really
that.
don't believe that Didi was gay. I believe that is another level of power.
Agreed. In fact, I'll tell you. Let me nail it now for you. There are two things.
Please
you
don't
do.
use the word nail.
Okay. Let me seal it for you. There are two things very powerful that draw power completely out of the person you do this to. One, if you are a power broker and you get the guy that serves you and you sleep with his wife, with his knowledge, that's the most humiliating, disempowering act you can do, and you draw power off.
They could be swingers.
No, that's different. Swingers is you're doing
There's
it
permission
both
there.
ways. You
And
get
there's
it?
permission, right?
Yeah. No. There is
Or
permission.
maybe swingers is the wrong term. Cock holding.
Yeah, but cuckolding is a weak man who draws pleasure
In watching his wife have sex with somebody else.
Correct. Or in allowing his wife to be used because he's a weak man who can't do anything anyway.
Yeah, but
So there's that type
it's
as
not
well.
what you call. But anyway,
But
Your
this
point, your
one,
point.
this one is a power play. This is a boss. Like for example, it was a known fact that the president of Zaire, those days Zaire, what's his name? Mobutu would do this to the wives of his ministers. This was a known fact.
No.
It's on documentation. Yes.
You serious?
Yes. He would actually actively say, "I like your wife. Send her home." And you, the man, you have to send your wife.
The
and
boss-
you,
the boss
and you
wants.
whack her. And then after that, he sends her back. And there was nothing you could do. So that's the first. It's very powerful. It's the same power play with the papas and their sons. So you need to know that all these guys, coming under these papas, a lot of these so-called flashy African fake papas, this is a dynamic that must play. To become a true son, you must surrender your wife to be shagged by that guy.
I mean, there's even a pastor called Pastor Mboro.
Oh, in South Africa, yeah.
I know. So no name on my part. Okay, then the second one. Then the second
Mboro
thing-
does that.
No, it's just a play on the name.
He's clever. The second one, which is like even more serious, is anal sex. So in sodomy, anal sex, it is the ultimate surrender. Now, why anal? And this thing really stunned me until my knowledge of the occult. In demonology, when they would have the black mass. Now, the black mass is a ritual that would be carried out by Satanists, specifically Luciferians, really, but Satanists. And they would do the whole Catholic mass backwards. So that's why, what's his name? The guy we were mentioning earlier, Aleister Crowley, was big on speaking backwards. Because it's a very powerful thing in the occult to do everything backwards. The law of God is backwards.
Oh, crap, I remember they used to do that in rock and roll.
Yeah, backmasking. The backmasking is big. Even now, just people don't know that there's still a lot of backmasking going on. So you hide the message subliminally backwards.
And read the words backwards,
If you play the album backwards, another message comes out.
Missy Elliott used to do the same shit too.
There you go. So now, in that process of doing things backwards, one of them is to sodomize, because it's backwards. The law, the way God created human is that the woman receives from the front, but you do it from the back because that's not what it's for. But then here's the other more powerful truth to that. In the black mass, if these guys did their act right, they would the literal physical manifestation of the devil would come. So the devil would show up, and he would come up in the form of the goat of Mendez, Baphomet.
Baphomet, yeah.
Now, if you have seen Baphomet, he's actually androgynous. So he's both a male and a female, a goat and a human. Now, one of the things he would do, real stuff.
Hey, Custis Mania is both male and female.
Yeah, I know. The famous, he's a woman.
Malema.
Yes, he's a woman. So, what would happen when this goat appears? Do you know what it would do? It would bend backwards, and all the people in the meeting would have to go kiss the backside. That's where the term
kiss my ass?
Yeah, that's where it comes from.
Bullshit.
No, for real. That's the source of it.
I call bullshit.
So here we go. Now I'll even go further. Do you know where rimming comes from?
Where?
The same act.
Can you Google this?
I don't know if you'll find it on Google, because remember, Google is very, very edited. So unless you went on DuckDuckGo, yeah, then maybe DuckDuckGo, is it DuckDuckGo?
Wait.
So put rimming.
Okay, I've seen the boobs.
I've seen that.
I've never noticed the boobs.
Oh yes, and you
I've
see
never
the
noticed the boobs.
So say rimming,
The term
like the origin. So
kiss my ass
comes from. You always edit this thing, right? You edit this thing.
No, we don't.
It's a long podcast. What does it say?
Well, it probably comes from connotations of resentments, from being screwed in the ass.
I told you that Google is messed up. They're not going to give you the real source.
Yeah, because you knew that what you're saying is BS and we couldn't find it on Google.
No. Google is very edited, my bra. So,
There you go. Wait, come here. Kiss my ass, meaning origin and examples.
okay, so I'll start checking that. So
Yeah.
the rimming, so those of you who are watching who are wondering what rimming means, rimming is a very, very detestable habit.
Is when you eat a guy's ass.
That's it. Or a woman.
Or a woman's ass. Yeah.
So that comes from the same
not
concept.
saying.
It's not saying. It won't say. It's Google. Go to DuckDuckGo.
It won't say because it's bullshit.
Nah, DuckDuckGo is the real deal. That's where you get the real. What does it say?
Well, this one says the idiom kiss my ass was derived from the original phrase kiss my arse. Okay? And the phrase kiss my arse first appeared in the year 1705 and was considered a phrase that was a stronger rebuttal than go to hell due to its implied vulgarity. And the phrase was changed eventually to kiss my ass over the years as vulgar words became more acceptable. And the word ass was chosen to replace arse because the two words are synonymous. Synonyms.
Whenever we have Reverend Walter here, we need to have a fact checker.
I still dispute that because I
We need
know
to have a
for
fact checker.
So, just what you do: type black mass, satanic black mass, and kissing of the devil's back. Just type that.
Black mass.
Yeah, mass, as in the Catholic mass, the liturgy. So you've got the black
Satanic
mass.
black mass and
Yes, and the kissing of the devil's backside.
I would really hate to see you explain to someone your search history.
I know, right?
Like, sorry, can you please explain?
Why you have such words?
Why did you be interested in the devil's ass?
I was writing an article.
Because yeah, me.
So that's where it comes from, guys. So bottom line is the adoption of all these things into standard sexual things now are a derivative of that. Because do you know what would follow the ass kissing arrangement? A black orgy.
They call it osculum infame.
That's the
Is
that's
a
the
witch
Latin.
witch's supposed ritual greeting upon meeting the devil, and the name means shameful kiss or kiss of shame. Since it involved kissing the devil's anus, which is his other mouth, and according to folklore, it was this kiss that allowed the devil to seduce women. Osculum infame.
Interesting.
And there's even a photo of that. Do you see
Yeah, there's a
Yeah,
photo
you've
of a
seen
witch
that?
kissing the devil's ass.
Yes,
Yeah.
and it's bent like
Wait,
that.
and
It's
the
a
devil,
famous-
wait,
and
and the
it's from-
devil's got wings.
Yeah, and it's from the what you call that era, the Romantic era. So this is stuff that came during the Renaissance. Yes, so they would draw these things. So obviously the devil has no horns and all that crap.
Gob, I need you to put this photo up. Please send it to Gob. Huh? Please send that to Gob.
For real.
Wait, so but you still haven't told me your thoughts on why it is so commonplace for bishops, especially in the Catholic Church,
Because
to
they
be.
would, because there are two sides to that group. There is what they call the goyim, who are the unknowing and initiated, and the nosim, who are the knowing initiated. So there's two. There's an ignorant group and there's a knowing group. So the knowing group secretly practice these acts because, it's very easy to claim that no, these were, horny guys with no place of expression. That's not true because we know for a fact that in the same Catholic churches there were monasteries which had, fetuses buried and little babies under their.
Is it because they were humping the nuns?
That's right. That's
Airdrop.
right. They would have illegitimate children who they would then, have killed so that they wouldn't be taken out there. So there are places that were unearthed with hundreds of such skeletons. So we know that there was normal sex. But this goes beyond just wanting to be freaky with the children. This was part of rituals to bolster their power. So it's a group of people, whether they were right or wrong, we don't know. But what we know as a person who understands the occult, this was part of rituals. Those children were sodomized to draw power out of them and to do whatever detestable.
And the ignorant ones? The ignorant ones?
Which ones now? They go in. They have no idea what's going on.
So what? They just smashing?
No, they have no idea. Like, in other words, they think they are going and following people who are genuinely following Jesus.
So the ignorant ones, are they also having sex with little boys? Or?
No. The ignorant ones don't even know what's going on.
So you're saying the ones that are having sex with little boys are doing that to draw power?
Yes, they know. It's part of rituals.
So they're not gay?
Highly unlikely. Because it was specifically with kids. It wasn't among themselves. It was with
No,
these
I get it, but the kids are boys, right?
Yeah. So you know why? Because boys, Aleister Crowley, he wrote an entire thing on this, huh?
Did you just hear that?
One.
He's just said these bishops that are having sex with boys are not gay.
Yeah, it was a power play, like he
Yeah.
said. It was.
It's
He's
still-
allowed
I
to explain
understand. I
the
understand.
power.
I'm just thinking of the act, the sodomy act
I think of P. Diddy right now.
of no.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm thinking of the definition of being gay,
No, gay is...
Oh.
the textbook definition.
I think gay is like where there's an actual
Because gay is
attraction.
more than sex.
Yeah.
Right.
Gay
So
is
sodomy is just
it's just anal sex.
okay.
Yeah. So sodomy is anal sex, literally. Because
someone
you know
who's
the
not
irony,
gay
because you know
can-
the irony, yes, can be sodomized, yeah. Because you know the irony, there's a passage in the Bible that lists homosexuality and sodomy in the same line.
Right.
So that's really interesting. Like, isn't that one and the same thing?
COVID?
No.
Okay.
I just choked on my water. So isn't that one and the same thing? Then you realize, no, it's not. Sodomy is literal anal sex, whereas homosexuality is the actual
Attraction.
Yes, and
everything in the
bonding
mix,
with
yeah.
the person with the same
Right.
sex. Yeah, so you actually realize they're two different things. And sodomy is listed because in those days in Corinth and in the Roman Empire, there was
a lot of that.
You know what I mean?
There was a
You've
lot
seen
of that.
Caligula and all that. It was
Yeah.
just...
Which is why I get shocked when I see the gay community talking about. I saw a post recently where somebody was talking about actually heading to church and whatever, and this guy is openly gay, and I'm thinking, and he's defending himself, saying God loves us all, and I'm thinking, dude, do you want to hear God's opinion about homosexuality? He burned down 2 cities.
Yes.
Sodom and Gomorrah. He burnt them down
so you know
because of
the
this
irony
shit.
about those guys? They all come out of this new group now that have been so deceived into belief. They actually don't think God is a judge. Like literally. They are at a place where they say that God of fire and hell is not real. So they are so washed down by that false message. And I guess also because church today for a lot of people is about numbers and money and walking politically correct paths. They are not going to deal with it. It's that's why I got such backlash with the Mama Oluse thing. Because I am saying something they don't hear pastors say. It's as simple as that. Because if other pastors were saying what I was saying, it shouldn't have solicited such a reaction. But the reason it got a reaction is because the pastors are like, it's okay, don't worry, your lifestyle, it's a struggle, it's a weakness. The Bible calls it wickedness, but they call it a weakness. So, in short, just don't worry about your sin. Just continue with it. We'll see how we work it out. As long as you can continue bringing your money to our church and being a member and sponsoring.
We're treating the 10 commandments like they're the 10 suggestions.
You were trending like a month ago. Is that what you just said?
We started the episode from there, actually.
Yeah, it was quite something.
Interesting.
Oh, man, it's been a great episode, Rev. Yeah. Unless there are other things also that you want to...
No. No. And this is my apologies for being late. There's no rest for the ugly. I've got 99 jobs.
I know. Now he says you had to go see a client and lock something down.
Yeah, I did announce that at the beginning of the episode.
We have this amazing new project that we're doing. I've got a company called Cyrex. We do interior design and implementation, and I keep saying this again because God works in mysterious ways. We've just gotten a hotel in Lesotho.
Nice.
That we're doing. Shout out to Kudzai. And so we have another one at Agora Village for Hair Queen. So I was there earlier. So hit us up. God will show you a couple of photos of what we're doing.
So in closing, here's my closing remarks.
Let's do this.
In spite of what all of you guys may have heard, God is a God of the 1,000th chance. I must say that. He's a God of the 1,000th chance. The only problem is there is such a thing as natural laws. And for every event we trigger on this planet, there are two things that happen. There is repercussions and there are rewards. So that's always going to happen. And this thing about repercussions and rewards, it remains true regardless. Whether you're Christian or not Christian, every event in life triggers a series of events. One event births other events. And every event is subject to the nature of the first event. This is why when, I think it was Elson or yourself asked, are there such a thing as good laws, evil laws? I said, no, laws are just laws. So it's neither good or bad. And when laws are followed, whether you believe in God or you do not believe in God, they work. So if you break the law, there are repercussions. If you obey that law, there are rewards. This is just the nature of life. And so to all of you watching, it is important that we receive Jesus as our Lord and Savior and surrender ourselves totally to Him. But bear in mind that we still are on this earth. And what we do matters. I know the grace preachers say the law is nothing, don't follow the law. We're now under grace, agreed. But if you violate the laws of God, there are repercussions. And those repercussions are some of the reasons why we had the stories we had about like the community projects where we say that yes, one may be saved. Yes, one may be truly in the church, but their bodies are still bound to their old lifestyles. And many people have suffered because they've ignored that. They have suffered because they have been not taught properly. Some of you, I'm sure, are shocked to hear stuff like this from a pastor like me. I don't run a church, so I have the benefit of being able to speak bluntly and not care about whether people
losing
leave
a
my
congregation
church.
and missing offerings.
Absolutely. And I think for me, that's what gives me the edge to do so. It's the edge, as in E-D-G-E. Because some people might think I'm saying something else. E-D-G-E. So it gives me the edge to be able to speak so boldly and bluntly and come on platforms like this. I can tell you, if I was fully operating the way I'm supposed to operate under churches and under pastors,
you wouldn't be this
I would
person.
not even be allowed to be here.
By who?
By my superiors. Because I would have superiors I'm working under, right? Yeah. So for me, the only person I answer to is Jesus. I have a circle of people I'm accountable to, but I answer to Jesus.
Amen.
And so that's what it is.
Moto wants a part 2, by the way.
No problem. This time, he should be... In fact, we need a moderator. I think we need a moderator. Like 5 minutes, 2 minutes.
No problem.
Because Moto will speak and then go off on a tangent to lose you completely.
No, you will not lose you. You're just dumb enough to follow what I was saying.
No. Even he agrees.
Because you're both dumb to follow what he was saying.
No. Dude, you follow Moto like, okay, we started from here. See.
If you're smart, you could hear exactly what he was saying.
Moto was high.
Yeah, he was high. That's what's happening.
To the next episode. Have a lovely day. Remember to support the people that support us. Brothers Mocktails and of course 4 flavors I mentioned earlier.
I want to go encourage to buy.
Just have to send them
No,
over.
I want to.
Oh, they can?
Yeah, they
All
can.
right,
I
okay,
want to
cool.
go
But we'll send you some as well.
Did you try any other flavor besides this?
No, I just tried this one, but I loved it.
I'll send you what my favorite is, which is the pina colada.
Down to try that.
Where do
as
you
well.
live?
I'm in Rockville, Chalala.
Okay.
We should send you some.
All right, I'll send you some.
Click on the subscribe button.
You take care of the rider.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh
give
no,
me
that would be
address.
nice. Okay, then that means I'll wait for you. When are you sending it?
Today.
Nice.
I'll be going home in the next 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Please.
Are you going home from here?
Yeah, I'm going home.
All right, to the next episode.
It's so free flowing. I've enjoyed it.